Hey, hi, hello, here we are again for another part of our read-along of The Wind in the Willows, written, of course, by Kenneth Grahame. I'm using the Wordsworth edition, as we all well know, and tonight we're starting Chapter 6, Mr. Toad. It was a bright morning in the early part of summer. The river had resumed its wonted banks and its accustomed pace, and the hot sun seemed to be pulling everything green and bushy and spiky up out of the earth toward him as if by strings. The mole and the water rat had been up since dawn, very busy on matters connected with boats and the opening of the boating season, painting and varnishing, mending paddles, repairing cushions, hunting for missing boat hooks and so on, and eagerly discussing their plans for the day when a heavy knock sounded on the door. "Oh, bother," said the rat, all over egg. "See who it is, Mole, like a good chap, since you've finished." The mole went to attend the summons, and the rat heard him utter a cry of surprise. Then he flung the parlour door open and announced with much importance, "Mr. Badger." This was a wonderful thing indeed that the badger should pay a formal call on them, or indeed on anybody. He generally had to be caught if you wanted him badly, as he slipped quietly along a hedgerow of an early morning or a late evening, or else hunted up in his own house in the middle of the wood, which was a serious undertaking. The badger strode heavily into the room and stood looking at the two animals with an expression full of seriousness. The rat let his egg spoon fall on the tablecloth and sat open-mouthed.
"The hour has come,"
said the badger at last with great solemnity. "What hour?" asked the rat uneasily, glancing at the clock on the mantelpiece.
"Whose hour, you should say?" replied the badger. "Why, Toad's hour, the hour of Toad. I said I would take him in hand as soon as the winter was well over, and I am going to take him in hand today."
"Toad's hour, of course!" cried Mole delightedly. "Hooray! I remember now. We'll teach him to be a sensible toad."
"This very morning," continued the badger, taking an armchair, "as I learned last night from a trustworthy source, another new and exceptionally powerful motor car will arrive at Toad Hall on approval or return. At this very moment, perhaps. Toad is busily arraying himself in those singularly hideous habiliments so dear to him, which transform him from a comparatively good-looking toad into an object which throws any decent-minded animal that comes across it into a violent fit. We must be up and doing ere it's too late. You two animals will accompany me instantly to Toad Hall, and the work of rescue shall be accomplished."
"Right you are," cried the rat, starting up. "We'll rescue the poor unhappy animal. We'll convert him. He'll be the most converted toad that ever was before we've done with him." They set off up the road on their mission of mercy, Badger leading the way. Animals, when in company, walk in a proper and sensible manner, in single file instead of sprawling all across the road and being of no use to support each other in case of sudden trouble or danger. They reached the carriage drive of Toad Hall to find, as the badger had anticipated, a shiny new motor car of great size, painted a bright red, Toad's favourite colour, standing in front of the house. As they neared the door, it was flung open, and Mr. Toad, arrayed in goggles, cap, gaiters, and enormous overcoat, came swaggering down the steps, drawing on his gauntleted gloves. "Hello! Come on, you fellows!" he cried cheerfully on catching sight of them. You're just in time to come with me for a jolly, jolly. His hearty accents faltered and fell away as he noticed the stern, unbending look on the countenances of his silent friends, and his invitation remained unfinished. The badger strode up to the steps.
"Take him inside,"
he said sternly to his companions. Then, as Toad was hustled through the door, struggling and protesting, he turned to the chauffeur in charge of the new motor car.
I'm afraid you won't be needed today. Mr. Toad has changed his mind. He will not require the car. Please understand that this is final. You needn't wait."
Then he followed the others inside and shut the door.
"Now then,"
he said to the toad when the four of them stood together in the hall.
"First of all, take off those ridiculous things."
"Shan't," replied the toad with great spirit. "What is the meaning of this gross outrage? I demand an instant explanation."
"Take them off him, you two,"
ordered the badger briefly. They had to lay Toad on the floor, kicking and calling all sorts of names before they could get to work properly. Then the rat sat on him and the mole got his motor clothes off him bit by bit, and they stood him up on his legs again. A good deal of his blustering spirit seemed to have evaporated with the removal of his fine panoply. Now that he was merely Toad and no longer the terror of the highway, he giggled feebly and looked from one to the other appealingly, seeming quite to understand the situation.
"You must have seen this coming sooner or later, Toad," the badger explained severely. "You've disregarded all the warnings we've given you. You've gone on squandering your money your father left you, and you're getting us animals a bad name in the district by your furious driving and your smashes and your rows with police. Independence is all very well, but we animals never allow our friends to make fools of themselves beyond a certain limit. That limit you've reached. Now you're a good fellow in many respects, and I don't want to be too hard on you. I'll take one more effort to bring you to reason. You will come with me into the smoking room. There you will hear some facts about yourself. We'll see whether you come out of that room the same Toad that you went in."
He took Toad firmly by the arm, led him into the smoking room, and closed the door behind them. "That's no good," said the rat contemptuously. "Talking to Toad will never cure him. He'll say anything." They made themselves comfortable in armchairs and waited patiently. Through the closed door they could just hear the long, continuous drone of the badger's voice, rising and falling in waves of oratory, and presently they noticed that the sermon began to be punctuated at intervals by long-drawn sobs, evidently proceeding from the bosom of Toad, who was a soft-hearted and affectionate fellow, very easily converted, for the time being, to any point of view. After some 3/4 of an hour the door opened and the badger reappeared, solemnly leading by the poor, very limp and dejected Toad. His skin hung baggily about him, his legs wobbled, and his cheeks were furrowed by the tears so plentifully called forth by the badger's moving discourse.
"Sit down there, Toad," said the badger kindly, pointing to a chair. "My friends, I am pleased to inform you Toad has at last seen the error of his ways. He is truly sorry for his misguided conduct in the past, and he is undertaken to give up motor cars entirely and forever. I have a solemn promise to that effect."
"That is good news," said the mole gravely. "Very good news indeed," said the rat dubiously. If only. He was looking very hard at Toad as he said this, and could not help thinking he perceived something vaguely resembling a twinkle in the animal's still sorrowful eye.
"There's only one thing more to be done," continued the gratified badger. "Toad, I want you solemnly to repeat before your friends here what you fully admitted to me in that smoking room just now. First, you are sorry for what you've done, and you see the folly of it all."
There was a long, long pause. Toad looked desperately this way and that, while the other animals waited in grave silence. At last he spoke. "No," he said, a little sullenly but stoutly. "I'm not sorry, and it wasn't folly at all. It was simply glorious."
"What?" cried the badger, greatly scandalized. "You backsliding animal! Didn't you tell me just now in there?"
"Oh, yes, in there," said Toad impatiently. "I'd have said anything in there. You're so eloquent, dear badger, and so moving and so convincing, and put all your points so frightfully well. You can do what you like with me in there, and you know it. But I've been searching my mind since, going over things in it, and I find that I'm not a bit sorry or repentant really, so it's no earthly good saying I am. Now, is it?"
"Then you don't promise never to touch a motor car again?"
"Certainly not," said the Toad emphatically. On the contrary, I faithfully promise that the very first motor car I see, boop boop, off I go in it. Told you so, didn't I? Observed the rat to the mole.
Very well then,
Said the badger firmly, rising to his feet.
since you won't yield to persuasion, we'll see what force can do. I feared it would come to this all along. You've often asked us three to come and stay with you, Toad, in this handsome house of yours. Well, now we are going to. When we've converted you to a proper point of view, we may quit, but not before. Take him upstairs, you two. Lock him in his bedroom while we arrange matters between ourselves.
It's for your own good, Toady, you know, said the rat kindly, as Toad, kicking and struggling, was hauled up the stairs by his two faithful friends. Think what fun we shall all have together, just as we used to, when you've quite got over this painful attack of yours. We'll take great care of everything for you till you're well, Toad, and we'll see your money isn't wasted as it has been, said the mole. No more of those regrettable incidents with the police, Toad, said the rat as they thrust him in the bedroom. And no more weeks in hospital being ordered about by female nurses, Toad, added the mole, turning the key on him. They descended the stair, Toad shouting abuse at them through the keyhole, and the three friends then met in conference on the situation.
It's going to be a tedious business, said the badger, sighing. I've never seen Toad so determined. However, we will see it out. He must never be left an instant unguarded. We shall have to take it in turns to be with him till the poison has worked itself out of his system. Excuse me.
That's reading the badger's voice for you. They arranged watches accordingly. Each animal took it in turns to sleep in Toad's room at night, and they divided the day up between them. At first, Toad was undoubtedly very trying to his careful guardians. When the violent paroxysms possessed him, he would arrange bedroom chairs in rude resemblance of a motor car, and would crouch on the foremost of them, bent forward and staring fixedly ahead, making uncouth and ghastly noises, till the climax was reached, when, turning a complete somersault, he would lie prostrate amidst the ruins of the chairs, apparently completely satisfied. As time passed, however, these painful seizures grew gradually less frequent, and his friends strove to divert his mind into fresh channels, but his interest in other matters did not seem to revive, and he grew apparently languid and depressed. One fine morning, the rat, whose turn it was to go on duty, went upstairs to relieve Badger, whom he found fidgeting to be off and stretch his legs in a long ramble around his wood and down his earthen burrows.
Toad's still in bed, he told the rat outside the door. Can't be much out of him except, oh, leave him alone. He wants nothing. Perhaps he'll be better presently. It may pass off in time. Don't be unduly anxious. Now, you look out, Rat. When Toad's quiet and submissive and playing at being the hero of a Sunday school prize, then he's at his artfullest. There's sure to be something up. I know him. Now, I must be off.
How are you today, old chap? Inquired the rat cheerfully as he approached Toad's bedside. He had to wait some minutes for an answer. At last, a feeble voice replied,
Thank you so much, dear Ratty. So good of you to inquire, but first tell me how you are yourself and the excellent Mole.
Oh, we're all right, replied the rat. Mole, he added incautiously, is going out for a run round with Badger. They'll be out till luncheon time, so you and I will spend a pleasant morning together, and I'll do my best to amuse you. Now, jump up, there's a good fellow. Don't lie moping there on a fine morning like this.
Dear kind rat, murmured Toad, how little you realise my condition, and how very far I am from jumping up now, if ever. But do not trouble about me. I hate being a burden to my friends, and I do not expect to be one much longer. Indeed, I almost hope not.
Well, there you go. So, Toad, what do you reckon? Is he trying to trick them? I think there was a little bit of honesty in his when he spoke at the end, wasn't there? When he said about he hates being a burden to his friends and he does not expect to be one much longer. Indeed, I almost hope not. I think that could be taken two ways, and I think I know which way Toad is meaning. Naughty, naughty Toad. Poop, poop. Oh dear. Anyway, there we go. So today was Monday for me. Back to work day today. I did-ish sort the barnet out, as you can see. Gosh, I just need this to grow back now, look. I feel naked. Goodness me. What else have I done today? No, nothing really. It's been a very busy day. I think because I was off for quite a while, that I kind of had everything backlogged today, and I was quadruple booked at one point today, so I had to be in 4 places at the same time, and I made it like all over the show I was today. But yeah, did it. Home now. Lovely. So I'm going to go and have my tea time. I've seen that there are lots of comments on the channel, so we'll do comments tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow night at this school is parents' evening, parents' consultation. So I think I'm late home tomorrow, but I'll endeavour to come up here because we can't ruin our little routine, can we? Gosh, we have to do a chapter every 2 days. That's how we do it. And then we'll be in time for Hogfather. All right, okay. Leave some more comments and I'll read them all out tomorrow, unless you say don't read this comment, please. All right. Love you lots. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.